This is the Desert Treasure 2 boss tier list. Now, there's another boss tier list we'll do later in the future that'll have all bosses, but I just wanted to do strictly the new bosses from Desert Treasure 2 and then throw in the quest bosses as well, just to kind of, flesh out the tier list a bit more so it's not just 4 things sitting on there and then we can be done within 30 seconds. So we'll discuss the bosses with the actual bosses, the Leviathan, Voldemort, the Duke, and the Whisperer. We'll talk about them. They'll be rated based on how they are after the quest, not their awakened versions, alright? Just the normal bosses that you kill once the quest is done. We're not touching the awakened versions, we'll say that for the boss tier list. And then we'll judge all the other bosses based on the current quest while you do it. Okay, it's been about a week. This is before changes as well. The update is tomorrow, the first update since the quest release, so there will be changes post this tier list. But until then, we will start off with... I don't even know what this guy's name is, but you guys remember him? He's from the Voldemort guy's part of the quest. This guy was a bit of a nightmare. Okay, a little bit confusion from this guy because you have to protect him with barricades. Calzone, that's it. Thank you. So you had to protect this guy during the quest, right, with barricades and explosives, and then you go and fight Van Strom or whatever his name is. And then all of a sudden, this guy goes Jason Bourne and starts throwing shit at you, trying to kill your ass, and he's over 400. So that was a little confusing. A nice surprise, a decent boss fight. Pain in the ass to kill, yeah. Because when I say I didn't like it, I don't mean it was bad for the fight. I just didn't like experiencing it while fighting at the time. Was him Sarah Brewing. Like, he was just drinking potions and healing. He tick 8 away from dying on me twice. Which I thought was actually, looking at it now, it's a fun mechanic. Definitely something they should continue doing in future bosses. We're going to make this guy a B tier boss, a B tier fight. Actually, we're going to make him A tier, okay? It was a bit, I'm not a big fan of the, throwing potions, which everything seems to be doing lately, but I did like the whole just drinking potions and tick hitting my hits, which is not what it was meant to be doing, but that's just me having bad luck. His stinker goes from being a coward at level 45 to 250. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely was not expecting that. Then we've got this guy, the jail keeper. I don't remember his name either, but he was definitely he was the guy inside the frozen prison on the way to the Duke. This guy was an asshole. You couldn't beat him, you couldn't kill him. All he did was walk around and just hit you hard. Jalen, that's it. Hey, Jahalan? Yeah, I didn't like this guy one bit. He was annoying, he was talking shit, and he couldn't get hit. This guy is E tier. That guy, he was just there to be fucking annoying. You didn't even get to fight him. He's F tier. Because it wasn't even a fight. No chance. You just had to wait. He gets turned inside out by the assassin. That's it. He was disguised as the Muspar in Secrets of the North. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for the spoilers. What's up, John? How are you, man? Then we've got this guy. Hold on. I remember his name. The Mysterious Stranger, I think. Something Stranger. This guy. S tier boss fight. There's no better way to say it. Okay? May not be the same experience for everyone, but fighting him was awesome. He was the sandwich lady. For me, he was the sandwich lady. I spoke to the sandwich lady. His ass pops out of nowhere. But he pops out in the wrong spot, wrong neighborhood. We're already in Nada at the fountain. I got a Void Waker on me, and I had... it doesn't matter what I had, actually. I had the Arc Light, and I sat at the fountain. Void Waker spec, Void Waker spec. Fountain, Void Waker spec. Swap to Protect Mage, that's fine. Melee 3 times, back to the Void Waker. 3 specs in a row because the fountain's there. That's the best PvMing ever, where you're just absolutely dominating someone and there's nothing they can do about it. That, and then the final fight at the end of the quest was also pretty S tier because it's not like fighting a PKer, but yeah, there was a PvMing element where you were essentially doing a lot of switching. That motherfucker popped up in your house as well. Yeah, he was killing people in their houses. It's awesome. And if you're in your house, same thing. Just restore pull, and just keep smacking him. I think that's fucking awesome. And I think quests having that feature would be a lot better because the next day when we went to get our second ring, we were walking to the ancient vault, and we watched this guy clean some motherfucker up. He just got destroyed in the middle of the desert. So he's ending hardcore Iron Man lives. And it was a good fight. The fight at the end of the quest was really good against him. It felt like you had to be, switching constantly while taking a lot of damage and just really focusing on what he's doing. That was a good fight. LMS champion, absolutely. He was very good. Next, we got this guy. this guy was kind of useless. I guess it was pretty easy. I'm trying to remember how this fight worked. It was right at the start. Nothing really special about it, but also nothing really bad about it. I guess C tier is pretty comfortable. It's a nice introduction to the quest just to let you know, hey, this is about as easy as it's going to get. That's about it. I bet he fucked up some hardcore Iron Man in the house. Oh, yeah, but if you die in your house as a hardcore, it doesn't count as a death. You just get put outside, thankfully. That's why house teleport tabs are really good. You did final fight with just Bofa? You can do that. Though I did it with melee. So we'll start off with the ghosts. And I think the first ghost is the guy with the bow, right? This guy was annoying. Mostly because you have to keep standing in the gas with him. And then he's ranging and meleeing. There was no visual cues to know when he was changing, which is fine. I don't mind not having visual cues. But yeah, he was just annoying to fight. They always are. Didn't really have too many problems though. Wasn't really that bad overall when you think about it. Nice challenge for the end of the fight. But actually, I will be honest, I think for the level of the magnitude of the quest and how Desert Treasure 2 was meant to be the next big quest, the next Grandmaster, the hardest and or the longest, hardest and best quest so far in the game. It definitely can be, but for the final boss fight, being one of the 4, it was a little underwhelming as like a final fight to finish the quest. I feel like midway through the quest, this sort of difficulty would have been more acceptable, but I feel like this was easier than the other 4 big bosses. So to finish up the quest on, I guess, a low, from a quest standpoint, I feel like it probably should have been a bit more difficult. So I'm happy to make him maybe B tier. I did have to bank between the fights, to be fair, but not because it was difficult. It was just because I didn't know what was going on, right? You don't know what to expect. The next time I do the quest, I'm doing it blindfolded. And I think the same opinion can be said. At this fat cunt actually can go D tier. This guy was annoying as shit. The whole stand behind the ghost. Oh, fuck that, man. I didn't know you could bank. No, you have to restart when you bank. Yeah, I had to reset a few times. Yeah, no, I didn't like her at all. Her like fake venge to shoot a bolt at you was just annoying as shit, standing behind all the little fat ones, and she was doing it way too often. Not a big fan of that boss. Super easy to kill again. And then this guy was the easiest of the lot. Of all 4 of them, this guy was easy because you just hit him. Just hit him, and then when the floor goes black, you just move. You died 3 times to that fella because I had no idea you had to stand behind it and wasn't intuitive. I was blowpiping out all the little boys instead. Yeah, I just left them all alive. It took me a bit to figure it out, but the first time fighting the fat cunt, it was too late and I'd already lost all my resources. But then, yeah, you just leave them all alive, just stand behind the closest one. So, yeah, not my favorite mechanics. This guy just slamming half the room, you stand on the other side. Very easy to kill. Again, it felt really easy for the end of what was meant to be the biggest quest. So I will put this guy in D tier as well. And then you got this guy. This one actually was, this one did kill me. Did I die? I think I died on this one. I died on this one because I overestimated how tanky I was. Because he summoned a portal and I didn't kill the portal in 1 hit. Because I didn't have Void Waker spec at the time. So it took me 2 hits to kill the portal. A couple of guys spawned. And then more spawned on the next portal. And then more were spawning. And it was like, do I kill them? Do I kill her? Do I hit the portals? And then you do get cleaned up. And I like that. But otherwise it was super easy yet again, so this one will also go B tier. I think these 2 were the better of the 4, were the more difficult of the 4, more pressing of the 4, but overall all 4 of them were quite underwhelming for a final boss aspect. I thought the quest was over after the Whisperer, to be honest, which we will now move into the quest. Now I don't know if you can do the quest in any order. I'd imagine you can, just like Desert Treasure, but it seems like everyone's done the same order, almost done the same order as each other. So we will start off with what's this guy's name again? Vard something. I keep calling him Voldemort because I keep forgetting his name. Vardorvis or something? I can't remember. I don't remember. Volbeat? It's not Volbeat, cunt. That's a Pokemon. Come on, get out of it. Vardorvis. That's it. Thank you. Vardorvis. So, you call him... what do you call him? Go with your dad? Duke is S tier? We're talking about Vardorvis here. I think Vardorvis, so as a fight, as a boss after Desert Treasure 2, even during and after, but not awakened. I think Vardorvis, now you could do there's a few different ways you can do this boss, and you can really choose the axe spawns. I mean, I was doing it last night, 20 hours into a stream, and I was a bit cooked, but I think this boss... Just trying to think about it. I mean, I've got a bias that I need to ignore because I do have the pet. I think this boss could probably be maybe A tier. I'm thinking maybe A tier. It is a really good boss fight. I think it is the most technical and it is the hardest of the 4. Well, I don't know about most technical, but I think I like that the mechanics are not using BGS and Dragon Warhammer, but the more damage you do, the weaker he gets, but the more damage he does. And I think that is a great direction to take certain bosses. And the end of the fight is really... When you are doing this fight and you move through the axis smoothly, it does feel really good just to get that smooth, perfect kill. It is awesome. I just don't like getting cleaned the fuck up. Sometimes when the smite comes through and hits you and the axis is coming at the same time, it can be really difficult to get that off and not get hit by either the axis or the smite, in which you can end up taking a 40. That does suck. I don't know if it's meant to be designed like that. It sounds like that's kind of a bit tedious, but overall I think the boss is very well designed and very good. The next boss we did was the Leviathan. I think the Leviathan is excellent. Now, my personal favorite is the Leviathan. I think it is awesome. The prey flicking system, the mechanics of where you could just do a lot, prey flick to your own comfortability, right? So you can go in here and you can just smoke, attack, spec, smoke, attack, spec if you want, or you can, let him attack a bit and have a bit of fun with your prey switches, and then smoke when you're ready. And I think having that sort of variety with the fight in the Leviathan, you've got a lot more variety in that boss fight than most bosses in the game, to be honest. You can change the fight almost every time you do it if you wanted to. You can fight it differently. Everyone else fights it differently. And I think that's great. I think that's really awesome. Gives Zuck practice. Very, very loosely gives Zuck practice, but yes. I think the Leviathan is very well defined. It's an obvious S tier, I think so. And it looks awesome. It really does look awesome. I think it is excellent. Next up, we did the Duke. At first, I didn't like the Duke. I thought the Duke was a fucking joke. I was like, why am I making potions between fights? I was sitting there going, why can I not stack up potions between fights? Why can I not put potions in the barrels ready to claim them as soon as the fight's over? I was like, why am I dying? And then I started grinding the Duke. And I will let you know, Duke is really good. And if the potion making wasn't there, it might sound tedious and feel tedious. But if the potion making wasn't there, this is a 40-second boss fight. So I think the potion making needs to be there. He looks awesome. The Baron pet is fucking incredible. I think this is also an A tier boss. Absolutely. I think the Duke being the fastest boss of the lot. Well, depending on your gear setup, of course. For me, it's currently the fastest boss of the lot. And the most, not the most fun, but I guess you could say kind of the most interactive, because you just go, you have to still go and make the potions. And it just feels like better. Dopamine-wise, I guess, running through the traps without getting hit, making the potions, go in and send it, clean them up nice and quickly. I think the fact that the boss fight's really quick is handy. I would like them to change, however, that you can maybe not stack up resources in your inventory, but when you take potions out of the barrels, you can then brew more potions. So get 24 of each resource, brew the barrels, take the potions, brew the barrels again. So you can do 2 potions at a time. Maybe that might help speed up the process, but then PBs will be ridiculously fast, but that might help you get a couple extra kills per trip or a couple extra kills per hour. But if there was a slightly less tedious way to handle that, that would be awesome. But again, that goes against the fundamentals of the boss, right? They'd have to raise the HP or something or slow the fight down if you want it to be a little less tedious. That's all. The motivation to kill him being the pet is definitely S tier. You've got the pedo playlist for the tier list. Oh, no, we'll do that next time. It's all good. Now we have the Whisperer, the last boss you kill in the quest, and I liked the Whisperer a lot at first. I really did. I will be honest, it's now my least favorite boss. I don't have a shadow. I will admit I don't have a shadow, so it's not the fastest kills. I think my fastest kill is 3 minutes 14, but I'm averaging around 3:30, sometimes 4-minute kills. I don't have an imbued heart or saturated heart either. I do have ancestral, except my Aaron's type instead of ancestral, but the difference between those isn't very much. I like the shadow phases in the fight. I do like them, but I don't like that I have to do them every fight. I don't like that they extend the fight length quite a lot. I don't like that. I don't like the sanity system. I think the sanity system sucks because you can do everything right, and if you make a handful of mistakes, or if you lose your footing at the end, or if you run out of prayer at the end, you can throw the kill away instantly. Now, the sanity system isn't a problem because I have great control over it. I do have great, but I don't have a problem with it personally on a skill level. But there are times where it fucks you, and it's just like you didn't die, your sanity ran out. It's like it's another thing to worry about. So that's a bit annoying. But I don't think that the boss should suffer because of that entirely. The mechanics are good. I think the prey flicking, making it pretty much damageless, otherwise is awesome. I do think the fight is very well done. I just don't... I think the sanity system is just tedious, but I mean... So are the axes in this guy, so is the potion making in Duke, and so is nothing in the Leviathan. So I think Whisper is maybe going to go B tier for this one. It probably would be better if I had better gear. The Venator Bow does help and make the spirit section a lot better, but I think I'll put it in B tier just for now. I think I'll put that in B tier. Why can't you just stand behind the max health pillar for all 3 attacks? Because that's not how the puzzle works, mate. She attacks it. You can die instantly if you just splash a bunch at the final phase. Yes, you do. I'm sure you don't have that problem with the shadow much, but yeah. That's it. That's the Desert Treasure 2 boss tier list. My name is King Condor, and that is my unbiased and professional opinion. If you have a different opinion, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, obviously like and subscribe. Don't be shit. And that's it. Thank you. Appreciate it. How do I save this thing? This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.